Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about kids with abilities. So, really, one of the things that's really important to understand is a lot of times parents get into action about certain trigger words that they hear with their kids. And so, I see this more with when they say that they're seeing a ghost or hearing a ghost. Parents are like, oh my gosh, we're in action. We're going to go and see someone. We're going to talk to someone. We're going to be in motion. We're going to start reading books. We're going to start looking at things. We're going to start looking at videos and da 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 da. They're in action. Awesome. That's great. But on the other hand, when a child says they sense a ghost or feel a ghost, not so much. Well, the thing is, though, is if a child is seeing a ghost, usually the ghost is a distance from them. The ghost could be 5 or 6 or 10 feet away or 20 feet away or, even further away. They're seeing the ghost at a distance. When they hear a ghost, they don't really have to be near the ghost either. But to sense a ghost, the ghost usually has to be much, much closer, which means they're usually not that far away. And so that's why I'm like, okay, your child's been telling you for like 6 years that they sense ghosts or feel ghost, but not until you heard the words they're seeing the ghost or hearing the ghost, then you come and see me. It's like a little bit wrong here. But it's one of those, it's really important to understand the information. It's one of those, their abilities grow in different ways. And so usually clairsensitive is something that kind of escalates on its own and just keeps growing and growing, where seeing or hearing clairvoyant or clairaudient gifts kind of like jump and burst into it. Like they'll be steady for a while and then they'll kind of burst up, or they'll jump up into it like a different realm and they're like, whoa, this is really crazy. That's something to take note of, and kind of keeping track of what abilities your kids have, when and what's going on, and then actually having them, like, where was the ghost, how far away was the ghost, what did you feel from the ghost, what did you hear from the ghost. That makes it much easier. And I think the other part is not everybody sees and hears and feels all at the same time. It's usually you do one and then the next and then the next. So it's kind of like you're going to see the ghost and then you may hear the ghost and then you may sense the ghost, or completely opposite. You may hear and then see and then sense. So it just really depends on what the child's major gift is. I often encourage the kids with abilities to really set boundaries with ghosts. They can only get so close to me. A ghost should speak to them without any foul language or anything like that, and they must stay at a distance from me. I also don't allow the ghost around me to scare me or try to scare me in some way. So if they're going to stand there, they're going to be there the whole time. They're not going to jump out and try to scare me or attack me or make me feel bad or upset or anything like that. So if that's the case, I have them removed. But if they're being okay, kind of like behaving, then I allow them to stay. And that's just really important to understand that you can set those limitations and boundaries with ghost, and so can your child. And it's really important that you support them on that. And kind of like, what are the boundaries? Kind of setting that up with your child first is like, what are the boundaries that we're choosing to set with ghosts? They can only, if I'm sitting here, they can sit in the other chair on the other side, or they have to stand near the window, or when they're talking to me, they have to be at this part, and no bad language, no anything else. And sensing, I don't want to sense how they passed. Sometimes some ghosts had some pretty nasty passings, and that may be not something I would want my child to experience at different ages. You can sense their emotions sometimes, kind of like if you're sending me love, I'd love to feel that one, or admiration towards someone, or thankfulness. That's really great. But if it's something else, hatred, anger, no, don't need those. I got plenty of my own. I don't need anybody else's. So make sure that you're setting those great boundaries and limitations with ghost, about seeing, hearing, sensing, and even feeling. So any of that, you want to make sure that you really set some healthy boundaries with your kids, and that can really set up how they deal with ghosts in the future. It's really important. Let's do a couple of angel cards and get us a little bit more information about your kids seeing, hearing, or sensing ghosts. So this is the first one popping up. Dreams. Sometimes this happens in dreams, that they hear or sense or feel ghost in dreams, and that's important to understand, that they can still set healthy boundaries in a dream setting. They dream, the ghost may want to show them something in a dream state, and that's okay as long as there's no danger involved. Or that they're seeing it as like watching it on TV and not necessarily being a part of what's going on. That can also be a boundary that you can set as well. The next card that's coming up is support. Know that their angels and guides are there to support them. They were given these abilities from birth. This is not something that they, oh, we'll never have to deal with this. This is something this child's going to have to deal with the rest of their lives. And they need to learn how to work through it and how to adjust things and how to fix and modify and set healthy boundaries. Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is my number one go-to guy for support, for protection, and he's the one I call in right away. And I think that's really important to do, is to call him in as soon as you feel like you might need him. It's like, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm calling him in. I'm going to get him in here and get him to protect me, to help me set some limitations and some boundaries. I'm going to have him remove energy that I can't handle, or even setting limitations with the ghost. I'm going to have him move the ghost back. Kind of like, so it's not so heavy in energy for me to work with. And those are some really healthy boundaries and limitations that you can set with ghosts, but make sure that you're using your angels and archangels as well. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.